going on, everybody? All right, today is Sunday, May 25th, 2025. What's happening? All right, so today we're doing an open topic, but mainly I want to talk about Transformers, DC, and Marvel because that's what we do on this channel. All right, again, it is an open topic, so whatever you want to talk about, we will talk about it because today is a good day. What's going on? All right, so look, just drop your comments and we're going to be seeing. Yep, for sure, Kay. Appreciate you for watching first. Congrats, for sure. You know it. Yep, we back. You already know it. Hell yeah, you already know what's up. Um, Ace, what up? You know, new comment writers. Yeah, I saw something about that. That's pretty dope. It looks actually interesting. Comment writer is pretty dope. So I am excited to see and catch some of that. So let's do something before we get into it. Do me a favor, share the video, put it on your social medias wherever you're at, just real quick, so we can get more people in the chat and all that good stuff. So that way, we can get some more people up in here and all that good stuff because wow, I just send these notifications out and we have more people coming in. We will get into it. So just bear with me, give me a few seconds while I'm sending all this info out. Hell yeah, you already know wallets closed. What's up? Hell yeah. You already know the business. All right. So like I said, just share the link. I'm actually doing that right now. About to post it on Twitter, so we can get more people up in here and we can talk about all this goodness because it has to be talked about. All right. So let me just pull up this real quick so we can talk about it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe and all that good stuff. All right. So, all right, let me just look at the comments before we get into it. Like I said, open topic. We're going to talk about anything and everything today, within the entertainment business, video games, collectibles, all that stuff. So, a good Sunday. All right. So I'm excited for Spider-Man brand new day next year. Hell yeah, I am too. I'm looking forward to that. I am really looking forward to that. Hell yeah, you already know it. Wallet's closed. Yes. James Gunn, like, what, like, make Christopher Reeves, Henry Cavill, Superman legacy movie. Yeah, Henry Cavill is Superman, so we'll leave it at that for sure. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 is inevitable. Hell yeah, you already know for sure, for sure. Wallets closed. The Creed, what up? Firmly, what's up? Hell yeah, what's up? That's exactly what's the business because we're gonna get into that. Like I said, tonight's gonna be a good little chat, and we're gonna be straight up just going off on this. All right, so we'll get into it in a few. Let me just catch up with these comments real quick. Keep what's up? All right, so I see a little troll up in here. All right, so yeah, you know what? Um, yeah, I'm gonna keep on talking because I have my freedom of speech and I can say whatever the fuck I want. Straight up. Let me go ahead and you know put them on timeout. All right, do I play Mortal Kombat 1? I haven't played Mortal Kombat 1 just because of the cast and all that stuff. I don't know. I've seen videos of it and stuff, but it's just not my cup of tea, honestly. I mean, they should have just done Mortal Kombat 12. And again, they did a reboot. And look at how bad that game is tanking, also. It's WB. It's what they do. Honestly, my ranking is 1, Andrew Garfield, 2, Tom Holland, and 3, Tobey Maguire, because I like comic accuracy when it comes to Spider-Man. I'm with you on that. Out of all three of them, Andrew Garfield, that's my Spider-Man right there. All right, but yeah, I like all three of them. All right. Are you hyped for Jurassic World Rebirth? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm ready for Jurassic World Rebirth. That's going to be the film of the summer that's going to take the crown. And for sure, that's going to be in the billion dollar club again. You'll see. WB stopped the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever screening in LA. Yeah, I heard about that. Now, we're going to talk about that. That's another thing, too, that is interesting. All right. WB just, as always, they're back at it. So, it is what it is. Not to what is it? Not too bad, Zack Snyder, Kamen Rider. That would be dope, I guess. So seeing Zack doing something with Kamen Rider, that would be dope. I would love to see that. All right, so uh yeah, we need people to speak up. Yep. That's it. That's it. We exactly. I agree with you. Integrity 101. What up? Shout out to everybody out there. Hell yeah, we need people, we need people with balls to say how it is. That's why I'm here. And a lot of people don't like it. But guess what? I'm still here, baby. Yeah. All right. What's up, Kal-El? Appreciate you for watching also. Appreciate everybody for watching. All right, we're gonna talk about this. So again, while we see the views coming up and more people joining, how's everybody Sunday? How is everybody having this lovely, amazing Sunday before tomorrow, Memorial Day? Awesome, right? Hell yeah! Wallet closed for every DC project until we get Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and 3. Hell yeah, for sure. All right, your plans: Jurassic World, Dominion, Man of Steel. What is it? Fantastic Four first step. What first steps? All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so let me. I'm trying to catch up with y'all, but y'all moving way too fast. All right. Hold on. Let me see. I don't want to fall back too much. Spider-Man brand new succeed even if MCU fails. Yeah, because it's Spider-Man, so they always have they're gonna make money regardless. New casting Spider-Man. What's up? What's up? Yeah, hell yeah. Batman Forever fans, go do a search. Batman Forever, what virtual work print is the closest to Schumacher cut you can get. You can find it and have it downloaded in 90 seconds. You'll love it. Nice, nice. Yeah, we'll talk about some of that stuff too with the whole thing with the Schumacher cut, what's happening and things like that. So, oh, you're working. Appreciate you for watching from work. Just don't put your work on at jeopardy, you know. But I appreciate the support on that. What Henry Cavill did with Superman is what Andrew Garfield did with Spider Man. Yeah, hell yeah, for sure, for sure. And they both got screwed over by the studios, but it's okay. You know, we'll make a comeback. Amazing Sunday and no, what HS? Oh, okay, no school tomorrow. Good, good, good. All right, Jurassic World Rebirth. I can't wait. MonsterVerse movies. I'm looking forward to. Hell yeah, that's another thing too. I'm waiting for that too. I can't wait. I really can't wait. That would be sick to see when it's finally done. Man, I hope Cavill asked Snyder to direct a Warhammer episode. That would be insane. That would truly be nuts. Batman, Spider Man will always succeed. Hell yeah. They're just IPs that people like, but they have to be done right. And of course, with what DC is doing, nah, I'm not interested, honestly. All WB has to do is make Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and 3 real Flashpoint, and then could go do the gun reboot if they want it. Yeah, they could do whatever the hell they want after. All we want is proper closure to the Snyderverse, and that's it. You know, we can just move on and stuff like that. I can listen with the phone off. I got the premium. Nice, nice. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support from everybody that's here. All right, this gun popcorn Superman bucket is on the brink of perverted, but that's gun for you. Yeah, I saw that. But that's a fan made popcorn bucket, the one with the trunks. But I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happens because that's what those sickles like, you know. So I would not be surprised. Just got back from Germany after 2 weeks. Nice, nice. How was it out there? Hopefully you had a good time out there. All right, WB $8. Hell yeah, that's nuts. And it's gonna keep on dropping. James and P Gun should never touch Kamen Rider and Ultraman. Yep, yep, yeah. It's just a mess and stuff like that. What up, C? What up, man? What up, Sean? Appreciate you for watching. Also, what do you think of the Batman? Boring. Not interested. I don't care about it. I just don't like that whole universe with Matt Reeves and with what they were doing with Robert Pattinson. Just not interested in it. To be honest with you, I don't even care if they cancel it. It would be best. While it's closed, there has never been a movie I wanted to fade and fail like Superman. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you with that, my friend. A lot of people don't want that. Even like you're starting to see now, the James Gunn fans also starting to doubt it, and they're like, "Nah, this is not looking like it." I'm waiting for Amy Rose and Sonic 4 to be honest, and appreciate if they can introduce Rogue as well. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna be doing something nice on the next Sonic film and stuff like that. I said I have no life because I said Superman is DOA. I criticized the movie. The attack me when we are not the same. Uh, okay, they said yeah. That's how the James Gunn fans are, But it is what it is. Disney Plus Power Rangers. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I'm really not sold on that. Honestly, that's Disney we're talking about. They run everything. A Ghost Rider and Spawn team up would be fire. Yeah, that team up would be fire. Exactly. I agree with you. DCU's over. Back DCU Snyderverse. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's see. Sonic versus Mario would be fire. Yeah, apparently there's a rumor going around that the next Mario is going to be opening the door so that they could do a Smash. They're building up to a Smash Bros. Movie, so apparently the next Sonic also is also going to connect into it and stuff like that. So it'll be nice. I'm telling y'all, the future after the whole superhero genre is the gaming cinematic universe. Once we saw that first movie with Sonic and then Mario, like these companies are all gonna jump on it, like straight up, like frosting on cake. They're all gonna be like, cause look, we've been getting also that other one. Which one is it? The one the Last of Us. That's a video game. We got that shitty Resident Evil on Netflix. That was terrible. Honestly, as a Resident Evil fan, that was terrible. And then we got the other one. I can't remember what it's called right now. That it looks like the end of the world, apocalyptic type of thing. I can't think right now. What is it? Fallout. Fallout. So that's what this industry is all about and stuff right now. So all right, so look, let's talk about this and let's get into it real quick. So look, I came across this. All right, look, this is something. First, I'm gonna focus on Transformers. All right, so all my Transformers fans, this one's for you. This is what we're gonna be talking about. All right, so apparently this came out. I'm not sure if it came out today. It just came out recently. All right, Transformers One crossed 105 million globally. Okay, and the film had a budget of 75 million. Okay, they made some money. Now, is this saving the Transformers brand? Hell no. Let's be real, it's just not. Let's be real, let's go back and rewind time. All right, when Michael Bay was there, and yes, Michael Bay is forever going to be part of the Transformers history. All right, the same like Zack Snyder is forever going to be part of the DC history. All right, let's focus. When we got Transformers, what it was, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, Age of Extinction, The Last Night. We got 5 films, all right? People were going out to the theaters spending money on tickets, merchandise, collectibles, toys, all that good stuff, right? When Hasbro and Paramount decided, hey, we want to get away from Michael Bay because we're not making the numbers that we want. Because greedy as Hasbro and greedy as corporations, and Paramount, and they didn't make the numbers that they expected with the Last Night. So they decided, hey, we're just gonna go with a soft reboot, which was Bumblebee, and that didn't bring in the people. What did we get after Bumblebee? We got Rise of the Beast. That didn't get people in the theaters. And then we got, okay, let's go animated, and they did Transformers One. 3 different directors, 3 different visions, 3 different universe, and all of those tanked. It's sad to say, but that's what it is. And I see what they were doing with Rise of the Beast, and I'll talk about that in a few seconds. What they're doing is trying to be like WB. We're gonna make a statement. Oh, well, we don't need this director. We're gonna do something different. 3 different directors, and it hasn't been working. All right, 105 million is embarrassing for a Hollywood production, especially with the IP that's the Transformers. All right, now if you have Michael Bay, when the last movie was quote unquote a flop, which it wasn't, you know, what it made like 600 million, that's a lot of money. I'm sure Hasbro wish that they could make 600 million right now with Transformers 1, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. Right, you didn't want humans, you wanted everything to be semi G1, all the robots and everything. That's what y'all got. It didn't work. As a fan, I wasn't convinced. Before that, Rise of the Beast, they brought in the Maximals, the Predacons, all that stuff. It didn't work. Same thing. And before that, with what we saw with Bumblebee, unfortunately, that didn't work either. And 3 different directors, three different visions, it tanked. It's time to restore the Bayverse. That's it. Hasbro, Paramount, you need to seriously restore the Bayverse because that's what the money was at. People were going out, spending money, rewatching these movies, and you were banking. Now it hasn't been working. 3 strikes, you're out. That's it. Time to go back to where you left off. What was really working. And look at how bad Hasbro has been doing. Their stocks have been going down. They're so bad that they're selling assets and leasing out assets too. It's like they're copying and pasting now WB. That's how shitty this company has become. And it's sad. It's sad to see it. Is the Transformers IP fading away slowly? Yes. Yes, it is. It's happening the same thing like in the early 90s when the whole G2 era came out, and right before they introduced Beast Wars, the brand was fading away. It was dying. And that's exactly what's happening now. 3 movies in Hollywood and you still can't capitalize and make the numbers that you thought you were going to surpass with Michael Bay. It's not working. It's not working, Hasbro. It's not working, Paramount. You need to go back, reach out. And I get it. Some people are like, oh, Michael Bay didn't want to continue. Yo, all they have to do is make one final film and go all out. Make that movie like 4 hours long, like the Snyder Cut, and let Michael Bay fully cook. Let him do what he wants to do. He wants to bring in combiners. He wants to do all that crazy explosions and CG and everything. Let him have fun. Go ham on it. Finalize, wrap up the trilogy. That will be the second trilogy because, of course, we got the first 3 Transformers, and then we got the 4 and 5, and then we were setting up to 6 with Unicron. So when it comes to the cinematic universe, I as a fan want to see that conclusion. Go all out, have fun, call it a day, and that's it. We can move on from the Transformers IP brand and do whatever the hell you want. But let's be real, Hasbro and Paramount need Michael Bay. They desperately need him when it comes to the cinematic universe. And I get it, some people are not going to agree with that, and that's fine. But it made money. Look at how bad these movies have been doing after Michael Bay. Nothing has been working. All right. So that's what I want to talk about real quick with the Transformers. All right. So let's move over now and let's talk about Marvel real quick. All right. I know that y'all gonna want to talk about DC, but I'm gonna say that one for last because that's gonna be juicy. All right. So real quick with Marvel, all right, as we move, forward and stuff like that. I'm not looking at the comments right now because I just see them that they keep on coming in and stuff like that. I'll try to look at them, within here and there in a few minutes. But right now, I just want to focus on the content so we can focus and talk about this. Look, Marvel is right now in a critical condition, right? Kevin Feige is having fatigue and he's just worn out and he's running out of ideas, right? Now I'm gonna speculate a lot, all right? What I'm gonna say right now, Kevin Feige doesn't have Zack Snyder around to copy and rip off his ideas. Since Kevin Feige can't come up with his own stuff, and what he has been coming up with has been trash. It hasn't been working. It's clear and it's proven by now that Kevin Feige was copying Zack Snyder. Because when you look at both films, Avengers and Endgame, whatever, and you compare it with Zack Snyder's Justice League, you can see everything. It's a copy and paste. And of course, Marvel has the money. They can move faster to make these movies and stuff like that. So again, me speculating, Kevin Feige doesn't have material to steal and rip off and call his own. Now, let's analyze this. All right. Now, Avengers Doomsday that was supposed to come out next year, and then Secret Wars have both been delayed. That kind of smells sus to me. Why would they be doing that? Why would they be delaying it? Again, I'm just speculating, all right? So hear me out real quick. Grabbing my tinfoil hat, all right? So all of a sudden, Marvel is moving into the next phase, right? They're introducing X-Men now with Fantastic Four and whatever the hell they're doing with, what the next phase is. I don't even know if they're 5, 6. I don't know what phase they're in. Whatever. The whole point is that Marvel has literally run out of ideas. Let's be real. They ran out of ideas. They don't have anything else to copy. So they're up in the air. Now, this is me speculating. All right. What if DC, all right, is preparing something as a backup? Once James Gunn's Superman tanks, and we know that it's going to tank, what's going to come after that next? They're going to have to look at the plans and say, hey, what do we do now? We just lost all this money. This movie's not bringing us, the return on our investment, which we thought we were going to. Just because they brought in James Gunn doesn't mean that it's guaranteed $1 billion. And so what if it makes $1 billion? It's still not going to save them because of the debt that the company overall has. All right. What's that going to do to the next productions of DC? Put everything on hold. So what if, again, like I said, I'm speculating, what if WB is working behind the closed doors that we don't know? And like I told y'all, with this whole, if you want to say, kind of partnership, network, whatever it's going to be with Comcast in 2026, that remember Comcast said, and this is the rumor, that they want Zack Snyder and they want David Ayer. And we already know that both of them are there because we've seen them both on the WB lots. Pictures have come out and stuff like that. I've spoken about it. So if you've been following, you know that I've been talking about all that stuff. Now, let's just speculate. What if, all right? Once Zach is done doing, the UFC movie and whatever LAPD show he's doing, of course we have Netflix up in the air right now. It's still gonna be worked on. It's not canned. Notice Netflix hasn't said that it's canceled. We just have people talking left and right saying that it's done. No, it's not. It's coming. It's gonna be on the way. It's just that Zach is right now busy with other projects, right? And again, speculating. What if WB with Comcast are deciding to say, hey, you know what? Once James Gunn's whole ideas, whatever it is, doesn't work, what do we do next? All right, cool. Let's move it to streaming because, like I've been telling y'all, the future is going to be streamed. Everything is going to be streaming, and that's where I think they're heading. And maybe this is just me. I'm just speculating. Maybe they have a backup plan. They're gonna be like, you know what? We're gonna restore the Snyderverse. It's going to be on HBO Max because notice that they went back to HBO Max to avoid the confusion. All right. And remember when the Snyder Cut came out, It was under HBO Max. So could things be happening? It could be. It could be a possibility. I'm not saying that that's happening or it's not happening. I'm just here to give y'all hope. All right. And sometimes with speculation, thing things can happen. All right. So I want you to stay positive and focused with all this. All right. Now, what could happen? Because notice that would give time for Marvel if they delay their projects and be like, hey, hold on, let's wait this out. We're gonna see how far it goes with James Gunn, because we know they know that it's not going to work. Because of course they probably sent James Gunn to do what he's doing to destroy DC. And then now Marvel's like, you know what? He'll come back to us, and then we'll pick up with Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever number they're at right now. And because of course he's gonna go back to Marvel, and it's gonna pick up again, just because it's those IPs, right? So, and James Gunn knew how to do that. There's nobody else like him when it comes to that with Disney and Marvel, right? Not at DC. I'm talking about over at Disney, right? Now all of a sudden Disney wants to delay these two films, these two big movies, right? Avengers, that's a big IP. It's like saying the Justice League. What if, all right, big what if, now is the time that Warner Brothers, but through Comcast, or maybe Comcast is hammering them down and saying, "Hey, look, these are the plans that we want to go with. We want Zach back. We want David Ayer back. We're going to release the Ayer cut, and we're going to restore the Snyderverse. But we're going to do it all on streaming. It's cheaper, it's faster, it's more convenient. We cut the middle people, meaning the theaters. You don't have to do theatrical runs. You could do exclusive theatrical runs, and that would be dope. Now, all of a sudden, now Marvel's like, hey, let's wait it out. Once they see that Superman tanks, they're gonna be like, all right, what's WB gonna do next? Boom. That's where the Snyderverse can kick in. A big announcement could get announced, and then from there, they're gonna wait it out and be like, you know what? All right, let's hear what the plans are gonna be. If they announce Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, and once he says probably his ideas, meaning Zack, what do you think? Disney's not listening so they can copy? Of course. And then again, the big feud comes in, Marvel versus DC, which honestly, I'm tired of it, because we can still enjoy both, but I don't want to see how DC has become Marvel. It's officially Marvel now, and it's sad. It's sad to see that. But this is the state and the condition that both companies are at right now. And notice they were supposed to do that last year with that they were gonna do the partnership with HBO Max and what it was, Disney Plus and Hulu, and that still didn't work. Notice that they got away from it quick. They didn't even bother advertising. Nobody was buying it. Nobody was falling for it. That tells you that the consumers are tired of it. We're seeing through their lives. We're seeing everything that they're putting out, and people are just tired of it. People have had enough, and that's amazing because in the end, we're the consumer, we're the customer, and we're the fan. We know what we want. We know where we're going to spend our money. We know where we're going to open our wallet and where we're going to close it. And right now, majority of the fans, customer, and consumers are keeping their wallets closed for Superman coming out. This is why now I'm emphasizing and putting the extra topping on it, meaning not just for July 11th, the whole month of July. Why? Because it's going to show the studio, hey, nobody is interested. All right. Now that's that with Marvel. There's not really too much to talk about besides that. Now let's jump into the real thing that y'all want to hear, because I know y'all want to talk about DC and stuff. So with DC, let's start from where we're at right now. All right. You guys saw, if you haven't seen it, I posted a video from today. This is today in the morning. All right. I went to Walmart and I was like, let me go see, because I'm a collector. I'm like, let me go see the toy section. And what did I see? Guess what? Oh, that's right. All overstocked with Superman products. All right. Overstocked. Like I posted in the video. That's not AI. That's not fake. And you salty clowns have to deal and accept that nobody is buying that trash. Okay, maybe you have a store in certain areas that they're selling out because they're probably all James Gunn fans. So that's why they sold out. Or the same way y'all like to play, I'm gonna play also. Maybe how do we know that the employees didn't take away all that stock and say, look, so we can take a picture and make it seem like, oh, everything is selling out. Because I'm not the only one coming out saying, hey, like Superman merchandise is overstocked. There's plenty of other videos that are coming out online and you're seeing it. I'm just here to help and show you and expose you, and that's the facts. Nobody was buying none of that crap. What? Maybe two toys sold, the ones that were like $12 or something like that. And it's so bad that they even lowered their prices because apparently those 6-inch figures with Superman were going to be like $9 or $10. They're at $7.95 and they're still not moving. What does that tell you? Next stop, Ross, baby. I'm telling you, before this movie comes out, that merchandise is not going to move. It's going to sit there. And Walmart's going to be like, yo, we have to move this product because we have more product coming in. Walmart doesn't care if it's a new movie coming out. Yes, they want to capitalize on it, but when they have an inventory sitting at the warehouse and it's not moving, guess what? You think that's just going to sit there? No, it's going to go straight to clearance because I've seen it with Transformers. And if you're a collector, you probably have seen it with NECA, Transformers, what is it, He-Man? It's a few things. Even Marvel Legends, they go on clearance even if they're brand new. Hell, even some of the stuff that's from Mattel with Jurassic World, because stores don't care about this movie's hot, this movie's not. They care about, look, we got 100 of these units. We have to sell all these units. And when those 100 don't sell, I'm just saying as an example, guess what? They reach out to Ross and then they do a partnership. Hey, we'll sell it. We'll sell you this pallet at a cheaper price. You sell it at whatever price you want. That's why they end up at Ross. They end up at Ollie's because that's how it works. These stores have to constantly move product. They don't care about, oh, this is a scalper's price. This is popular. They don't care about that. These stores just want to move product. And when product doesn't move, like Superman, that right now is not moving, and I get it. We're still like what, a month and something away from the movie, almost like less than 2 months. It's not moving. It's already starting to show up at Ross. When you have underwear, boxers, merchandise like that, officially products from the new movie, that's bad. That's bad. And don't come and tell me that that's marketing. That's bad marketing. That's terrible marketing. When you tell me, hold on, I can go, instead of Walmart, I can go to Ross and buy the same boxers or the same t-shirt for less. I'm gonna go to Ross. And who's gonna lose? The company. Because they're like, yo, all of our product, we spent all this money, is going straight to Ross. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. All this is gonna end up in clearance real fast because nobody's buying it at a regular price. And it affects the company. It affects, the distributors. It's just a chain. It affects everything. And in the end, who looks bad? WB. Why? Because now they have this whole new movie coming out and that merchandise is already starting to show up at clearance outlets. That's terrible. That is terrible. Honestly, I expect that 2 months later, 3 months later. But this is before the movie is even released, and you're seeing it already in those type of outlets. That's bad. Those are bad signs. All right. Now, another thing too with this whole thing with Superman, because it's a hot topic right now. WB trying to put and do a partnership with Amazon Prime to give the fans, hey, we're gonna give you're gonna watch the movie a little bit earlier before the actual release date. You're just telling me as a fan you don't even believe in your own product because you're trying to put it out there and trying to cash in now because on release date everybody's gonna be reviewing it, everybody's gonna be talking about it. Not just, don't blame us, the Snyder fans. It's lovely and it's funny at the same time how these James Gunn fans love to blame Zack Snyder when we have nothing to do with it. But it shows you we are the majority. Because if we weren't the majority, then why y'all keep on accusing us? Oh, it's because of you Snyder fans that movie is going to tank. Thank you. Thank you for pointing out that we are the majority. Therefore, they're afraid. They know that movie Superman is not going to make the numbers that they're expecting, and they continue to blame us. And honestly, I'm actually happy and proud to say that hell yeah, blame us. You know why? Because you're just proving to us that we are the majority. Therefore, you have fear because we have power, and that's the difference. See what I'm saying? This whole reboot with James Gunn could have been avoided, but he chose what he did and what he has done and everything. Look, the movie for Superman has been rated PG-13. All right, we already know it's going to have a lot of comedy. This movie is going to be on streaming fast, and then after it goes on streaming, is also going to be on Tubi ASAP, because this is what happens when you do, generic films. That's what they end up at. Unfortunately, that's what happens. And Superman doesn't have that excitement. It's fabricated, it's fake. I went to Walmart and I showed y'all. That's real life situation. The product is in stock. It's not moving. It's not selling. Nobody cares about it. Not enough people are caring about it. You see people walking up the aisles, they don't care. They don't even look at it. That's why it shows you that fans have had enough, honestly. Now, this is another thing too. I caught this also. Y'all didn't see it on the picture, but I cropped it. But you can see it on the edge. Okay, whoever's doing the marketing for WB is desperate, and I'll tell you why when it comes to the toys. Because when I was at the toy section and I saw those Superman figures, guess what they were right next to? Jurassic World Rebirth, because now the toys for Jurassic World Rebirth are officially at Walmart. And they were like, you know what? Let's put it right next to Superman. Next to Jurassic World, so people could buy both. It doesn't work like that. I saw a lot of merchandise from Jurassic World already going empty. Those shelves were already starting to run out. And this is new product. Meanwhile, Superman is overstocked. And they wanted to place it right next to Jurassic World Rebirth because they know that Jurassic World Rebirth merchandise is going to sell. They know that that movie is going to bank, and they know that the fans want to see that movie. It's an established IP. This is the seventh film. You can't compete with that. James Gunn had all this time. WB had all this time to change the date. And did they do it? No. They stuck with it. And I'm glad. You know why? Because on July, the whole month, you're about to feel the true power of the fans, the consumers, and the customers. Because once you do not make those ticket sales, because the ticket sales apparently are going to go up for sale in June, nobody's going to be buying them. Not enough. Not enough. Now, you know what is selling out? The tickets for the screening for Jurassic World to watch it early. That's telling you, that's telling you, look into it and you will see. I'm not playing. You know, maybe you're in an area where the theaters don't sell out that much. That's understandable for all type of films. But when you have WB saying, "Hey, we want to do an early release," start charging people early, like a few days before the official release, you're just telling me as a customer, I'm like, you don't believe in your own product. Because if you're bringing it out early, you just want to capitalize right now. You want to make the money now upfront, fast, easy, because on release date you're not going to make that money because they know that some people are excited, they want to see it. But this is all repeating the same, like the flush, the same pattern of the flush is what we're seeing with the Superman. And honestly, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be another like disaster, like the flush, and mixed with Joker 2. Remember, everybody's like, "Oh, Joker 2 is gonna surpass the first film. It's going to make," and that's what the James Gunn fans are saying right now. They're all like, "Oh, now it's gonna make 1 billion. Everybody's gonna watch it. This and that." Hold on, y'all just backtracked and you said that no, it wasn't gonna make that number. Y'all were good with 300, and now y'all lowered it again to 175 million. But now all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, the toys are selling, so you guys are gonna make 1 billion, right?" Okay, all of those James Gunn fans better show up on July 11th. But guess what? They're not, because James Gunn fans don't show up. They don't show up. They don't have enough fans. And the only time that Guardians of the Galaxy made money was with the second film. And that's why, because Disney was behind them. The third film couldn't even top those numbers from the second one. What does that tell you? I'm telling y'all, come July, it's going to be an interesting month and it's going to be a lot of things that are going to be happening. And we already know that Jurassic World Rebirth is going to take the number one spot at the box office. And I'm here. I'm here for that. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. Make sure to start buying your early tickets for Jurassic World. Whatever viewing, whatever showtime, whatever price you can get it. The whole point is that that movie needs to surpass Superman, and it's going to. Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be a monster at the box office, and Superman won't reach those numbers, honestly, because then the week after you have Fantastic Four. A lot of people want to go see Fantastic Four, and then the weekend after that you have the Smurfs. So it's like people are gonna go watch that also. Look at that. Lilo and Stitch just came out and they've already passed 300 million. It's insane. It's insane. That movie is going to make bank. That movie is going to make bank, especially now that it's, a long weekend. They're making money, it just started. And like I said, the next one coming up, Jurassic World, is right around the corner. And I'm ready. I'm ready to see that. And seeing all this merchandise from DC that's not selling and it's not moving, that should put the company in a situation when they're like, you know what? Damn, what are we doing wrong? You guys are not listening to the fans. When you don't listen to the fans and you don't give them what they want, you get what you get. And that's exactly what's happening right now. But you know, all these flops have caught up to WB. Nobody Literally, nobody showed up for all those movies after Zack Snyder. Nobody. Nobody showed up for Birds of Prey, Shazam, Shazam 2, Blue Beetle, Black Adam. And it's sad about the part with Black Adam because, of course, we had Henry Cavill back. But still, they try to lure us in with that bait, the same like they did with The Flash. They try to lure us in. And then, of course, we can see the works of James Gunn because they replaced Ben Affleck with George Clooney at the end. And we already knew that it was supposed to be Ben Affleck. But again, you have to remember, come July, you have to remember what James Gunn has done to the fans, what he has done to all this universe. He's the one that created all this mess. And on July, WB is going to feel the real power of the fans, the customer, and the consumer on that day. And not only that day, that whole month. Because people are going to be like, yo, I'm not going to watch it. There's a lot of people that are saying that. People are tired of it. They're really, really tired of it, and people just want good entertainment, and that's what it is. That's what it is. So what can we do? But that, like I said, all the facts are out there. You're seeing it, that I'm actually bringing and showing you. I actually went in person and saw it because I'm like, this can't be like this online. Like everybody's like, online you can fake it and say, hey, let's get all the employees when we're like restocking and make it seem like it's sold out, and let take a picture and make it seem like, oh look, it's selling, everybody's buying it. No, it's not. There's a lot of people that are starting to report that merchandise is not selling, and that's exactly what's to come with the ticket sales. This is why you see now that WB is trying to give, you know, some free giveaway to go see Superman for free. When you have a company telling you, hey, take my whole product for free, you should worry because they're giving you the whole product, meaning that they're nervous and they know that people are not going to pay to watch that. They could have at least given a discount. Nah, they're just like, you know what? We're going to give y'all some free showings. That's terrible. Those are not even private screenings. Those are literally like screenings to go see the movie, and it's like for free. Damn, that's bad. Like, yeah, this is really bad for this company, honestly. It's kind of embarrassing where this company is at and how they've gone downhill so bad, and they think that they could just give us whatever, and most of us fans are going to accept it. And like I told y'all, don't be surprised if from here until July, WB, along with James Gunn, Peter Safran, and David Zaslav, are going to throw some bait and say and try to use some type of way the Snyder name. So people could be like, oh, let's go watch it. Let's go watch it. Don't fall for it. Those are all lies. They're all just trying to bait us. All right. We already know this movie's going to be shit and it's going to tank at the box office. We're just here to help it. All right. Now, look, talking about Batman, all right, and Superman, all that stuff. Let's talk about that whole lawsuit real quick of what's going on with WB. All right, look, again, we got this guy. He's coming out and he's after WB, and if that does happen, I'm telling you right now, if it goes on his favor, we've all won. We've all won, honestly. And I'm sure they're trying to negotiate something because, of course, WB has hush money and they're going to try to pay him off and say, hey, look, don't talk about it anymore. And especially now that we're closer to the release date, how much you want. And they're probably going to be able to pay him off. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But if it does, again, the power is in our hands. The power is in your hands. You, the customer, the fan, the consumer. Wherever you are around the world, it's in your hands. If you want this movie to tank or you want it to succeed, and majority of the fans, we're done with it, honestly. And this whole lawsuit that's going against WB, that's not helping them. It's come back again to haunt them, and we're gonna find out, soon of what's gonna happen with that. And again, that's just bad marketing. So when you're telling me, oh, I don't know about marketing, that's bad marketing right there. There should not be a movie with a lawsuit attached to it, especially this close to release date. This is why I'm telling you, James Gunn's and WB, they made a big mistake by rebooting, and it's all going to affect them and catch up on July on release date. That whole month, I'm telling you, is going to be bad for them. Financially when it comes to the numbers at the box office and stuff like that. And it is what it is. So let's talk about Batman real quick. All right. So this whole thing with the Schumacher cut. First things first. That wasn't. Let me repeat that. That whole thing with the Schumacher cut was not an official WB release at the theaters. All right, that was just some fans that just decided to do it on their own and they weren't aware of copyright issues. This is why I tell y'all, my friends, you have to be up to date with copyright material, because when you don't own certain IPs or any IPs and you try to, like, you know, screen it and try to fly under the radar, it's not going to work. Marvel's not going to tolerate it. Nintendo doesn't tolerate it. Sega doesn't tolerate it. And now DC is not tolerating it with Warner Brothers, because those fans got hit with a cease and desist officially from Warner Brothers, because they were trying to screen it for free, not to make money. They were trying to screen it for free at a local theater that they were at. And I saw this coming, honestly. This wasn't a surprise. It wasn't an official announcement from WB. It was nothing from WB. So they have every right to do what they're doing. And, that's what they call a warning, like F around and find out. Seriously. Because after that is when things go to like legal stuff and it just gets complicated. So it's easier for them to just say, you know what, we're going to cancel everything. And at least we got to give them credit that they tried, to do that. But you always have to run it with the studio. And you have to remember there's licenses, there's contracts, there's paperwork, there's a lot of money involved when, even if you want to screen something for free, because you're asking for a license, and sometimes the studios don't care. They just don't want to put it. They don't, if it's not official from WB, they're not just gonna want to let anybody screen it, because that's who they are, and that's understandable, and it is what it is. It sucks, but if you're a fan and you're thinking about, well, I'm gonna do this just because I'm a fan and I have the right. No, we don't. There's copyright laws, and those laws are serious. And unfortunately, this group of fans broke that law, and WB is being nice, kind enough to say, hey, here's a cease and desist, meaning stop what you're doing or we will take legal action. And that's exactly what happened in this case. It sucks because we all want to see the Schumacher cut. And I'm like, all right, how did they get that? So whatever, if it was fan made, if it was official, who knows? But they did what they have to do. We can't get mad at that. But, it just shows you sometimes fans have to do research. These IPs belong to these studios, these companies, and stuff like that. This is why it's very important. I know some of y'all are like, oh, well, why you don't push for sell to Netflix? Because first of all, WB isn't going to sell the rights. It's too many rights. It's way too many. You have the actors' images, you have the characters, you have the universe, the director. You have, it's just so much legal stuff. It's not easy. It's not like, oh, here's the license for this character. We want to, we want to buy it from you. It doesn't work like that. If it was that easy, any studio would be doing it. It's not. And of course Zach is gonna be like, yo, if Netflix had the rights to it, hell yeah, I'm down. I'm not opposing that. I would too. I'll be like, shit, let's do it. But it's gonna be too expensive, and Netflix is not gonna waste all that money. Not in that situation, because WB is gonna try to milk them as much as they can. They're gonna be, oh, you guys are willing to pay for it? How about you pay this price? Netflix is gonna be like, yeah, right, I'm paying that price. So it is what it is. This is why it's very important for us to keep on fighting for restore the Snyderverse. The goal is to get this company to give us what we want. We got the Snyder cut. We went through 2 mergers. What's stopping us but ourselves? What? James Gunn and his fans? They're not strong enough. They're not deep enough. We are. We're the majority. We know what's up, and they know it. This is why they fear us. They don't like it. They don't like people like me talking and exposing them and saying the facts and calling it. In other words, I'm telling y'all the truth. If you get my drift. That's what they don't like. They don't like the truth. And when you give them the truth, cold, raw, and uncut, they don't like that. They fear that because they're like, whoa, hold on. Like this could be unstoppable, And it's like, what can come from that? But this is what I'm here for, to tell you how it is. Some people are going to see that point of view, some people are not. But it is what it is. We have to talk about this because we care about this brand. We care about this universe. We care about the director, his vision, and we care about what was already established. And for the studio to just take that away from us, like, yo, who do you think you are? We're the customer, we're the consumer. We have every right to ask as fans for what we want. And then you're just going to strip that away from us? No, it doesn't work like that. And again, this is why now people are boycotting. This is why people are tired. They're not supporting, they're not buying anything that has to do with this whole Superman reboot. And it's only become a meme after a meme. People are tired of it. People are fed up. You know, they want Henry Cavill. We want Henry Cavill. And the studio continues to let that go away. But we won't let that, be stopped because we know what we want. And that's what these James Gunn fans don't have. They don't have that support. They're not united. We are. They're not together building what we've already done. They just can't. They know it. This is why it hurts them still that we got the Snyder cut. We have the Snyder cut. Let that sink in. Think about that, my friends. If you fought with a hashtag or you said, yo, you want to see the Snyder cut or Zack Snyder should release the Snyder cut and get his vision, whatever, you were part of that movement and it's part of history now when it comes to DC. 50, 100 years from now, the Snyderverse is still going to be attached to WB, regardless, because it's already there. It's part of that universe. It will forever be there. And along with that, the fans are still going to be with that. You know why? Because we made that possible. We fought for the Snyder cut and we have it. That's all that matters. People are going to be saying all type of things, oh, but this and but it doesn't matter. The point is we have the Snyder cut. You want it physical or do you want it digital? Pick which version you want. We got it, baby. That's all that matters. And they are salty about it. They are bitter till this day, 5 years later, and we still have it. That's amazing. What other studio has done that? What other fan base has done that? None. Not even Star Wars, I think, has done that. That tells you a lot. That's how powerful we are. This is why I tell y'all, my friends, don't give up. Now is not the time. We're getting closer to the release date, and as we get closer, we need to stay united more than ever. This is why I try to emphasize and tell y'all, yo, focus with Restore the Snyderverse. Right now, we don't need the other hashtags. Everything else falls under. The main key is about us. I want the Snyderverse to get restored. If you want that, just use Restore the Snyderverse. Once all that comes into play, every other hashtag falls under that. But we don't have to keep using those same hashtags. We just have to use one hashtag because come here to July 11, the point is that we want the Snyderverse to get restored. And when WB sees once again on social media, yo, damn, again, restore the Snyderverse instead of James Gunn's Superman, they're gonna be like, the fans have spoken, and that's exactly what we want. When they see that they don't make the box office numbers, they're gonna on that next Monday morning when they're back in the office, they're gonna be like, we didn't make the numbers we thought we were going to make with this reboot. It didn't work. Exactly. We want the Snyderverse to get restored. That's what the fans are still asking for. Damn, they don't give up. No, we don't give up. That's the beauty of it. We don't surrender. And that's what these James Gunn fans want. We, the true fans, we're warriors. A no to us is like, all right, baby, we got you. And then what we've been doing quietly, we've been keeping our wallets closed. And that's why all these movies have been tanking. You can't come at me and tell me otherwise. That's us united. This is how we win this war. You want to get back at WB? Keep those wallets closed. Keep them on lock, physical and digital, however you use your money, and let the studio find out and see. Because when they see that they don't have those numbers, it's all going to come back and bring them back to reality. And they're going to be like, damn, the fans haven't moving away from, they're not moving from the Snyderverse. They want that. You damn right. That's exactly what we want. We're going to keep on fighting and we will stop at nothing. They know it. That's the whole reason why they keep on coming out. And that's what's happening, you know? And looking how, the IP of WB is just down in the dumps, unfortunately, but it's because they don't care of the product anymore. It's like they just want a cash grab quick. It's okay. I understand you have to make your money as a company, but don't come here and try to rip us off and say, hey, all right, can we, just milk the fans with what we have? No, it doesn't work like that. You have to give the fans what they want. And when you give the fans what you want, you're going to be making money. Look at how Sonic 3 made money. Look at how, what is it, Deadpool or Wolverine made money at the box office. You want that? Then give the fans what they want. They gave customer satisfaction, and now they're earning their rewards, which is the money at whatever movie that they put out. And it's sad to see how DC With Warner Brothers, these iconic characters, they don't care about it. They just don't care about it, you know? And fans have turned away. People have lost interest. And it's sad to see that, you know, it really is, but that's what happens in the showbiz, you know? It is what it is. So, all right, so let me take a look at comments and let me just go back. I know it's a lot, but all right, let me start over at this one. All right, I would watch a Zack Snyder Dragon Ball movie. That would dope. That would be dope. Honestly, that would be really interesting. All right, you think Superman 2025 will make 75 million for its opening weekend and finish at around 400 or 500 million? Could be. I mean, anything is possible, but I don't really see it making that much money, you know. And if it does, I mean, good for them. But at the same time, let's just speculate and say that Superman does make over 500 million. Let's just say, just for the hell of it, they made $1 billion. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, hey, it is what it is. Barbie couldn't save this company. Look at where their stocks are at. Minecraft couldn't save them, you know? And so what if they do? It's still not going to change anything. So it it could happen. So let's see. All right, Idris Elba disrespect Will Smith just like Chris Rock. I will never forgive Idris, and I hope he stays out of any studio for what he has done to Will Smith. Look, Lucas, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know like you really like to talk about a lot of stuff, but this is Hollywood. Hollywood is dirty, is disgusting, and survival of the fittest. Honestly, this is why Hollywood doesn't like Zack Snyder because Zack Snyder doesn't bend the knee. That's one thing you have to keep in mind. Hollywood is not for anybody and everybody. It's for the ones with thick skin because today they like you, tomorrow they dislike you, and they all come after you. And when you put a product and you please the fans, Hollywood doesn't like that. So all this drama with all these actors, actresses, it's just publicity stunts. You know, like sometimes those things are pointless. These corporations are all in bed with each other and they don't care about us. And the same way they don't care about us, we shouldn't either. You know, it's like just support the IPs that you like and that speaks on its own, you know, because honestly, it's just celebrity drama that nobody cares about in the end. You know, it's always going to be something. It's always going to be complete. Everybody's always dissing somebody. They're always talking about. It. We see it with YouTube. How many YouTubers don't do that? There's other YouTubers talking smack about me. You think I care? I don't care. I laugh about it. I have thick skin. I'm like an armadillo. Like I don't care. I'm like it is what it is. Just some people are just not gonna like certain people in this industry because they don't share the same point of view, you know. But it is what it is, my friends, you know. All right. In the end, it's all about give me good entertainment. That's all I care about. All right. Did I see Jim Lee post a picture with Zach? It got more likes than any Jim Lee's post with cornball sweat. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. You see, and notice how Zack Snyder also shared that picture. Hmm. That tells you a lot too. That shows you that Zach also believes in that. You know, how come Zach never showed the picture with with James Gunn? Oh, that's right, because they're not real friends. Remember, that's what James Gunn likes to do. Always like to say my friend, but in reality, nah. That's exactly how it is in this industry. All right, we can actually make things happen. Hell yeah, we've made them happen. We're gonna do the same thing. So that's what we're doing. And come July, look, July is gonna be a very interesting month, and it's gonna be a lot of like surprises for everybody. One, we already know with Jurassic World. Two, we already know what's gonna happen with Superman. That movie's gonna tank. How bad is it going to tank? That's gonna be the question. We're gonna find out on that day. Zack Snyder Spawn movie, yeah, that would be dope too, and it would be nice. I mean, you know, to see that. So I don't even know what's the update on the new one, but you know, we will see. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with that and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Let's see. Going down. I can't imagine Superman making more than 700 million tops. It won't make more than Batman versus Superman. Oh no, hell no, for sure. It's not going to top that. It's not going to surpass it. It might not even make it up to those same numbers. I think the Batman from Matt Reeves is gonna go down that it made more money than James Gunn's Superman. I think that's what's gonna happen. And you know, I don't see it surpassing nowhere near those numbers, you know. But we're gonna see. You know, it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, July is going to be an interesting month. A Working Man is better than all the movies so far this year. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't been able to see it. Man, I haven't been able to really see a lot of movies lately, so I gotta get up, out there and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to catch up. But yeah, Working Man, I did hear about that. Probably closer to 500 mil. Probably. Let's see what happens. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hollywood's fake as fuck. Completely fake, fake. That's what they are. All of them, Celebrities, gossip, drama. It's always that, because it's just like James Gunn. It's all about me, me, and me, And the more ego you have in this industry, it's like the more you get. It's ridiculous, This is why Hollywood doesn't like Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder, he's not a sellout. Zack Snyder loves to keep his fans happy. He likes to put out good quality content. Not that everybody's gonna like it, but for the most part, as a Snyder fan, I love his work. There's some things I don't like, but for the most part, I enjoy his films. And like I said, I'm not a UFC type of person, but I'm excited to see what he's gonna do with that movie that he's working on. So we will see. If I ever become a director, a movie maker, or a producer, I will make a SCP movie because there isn't really SCP copyright because it's all about huge, great, ambitious fandom. Yeah, but when you start dealing with companies that they're gonna give you money, oh trust me, all those copyright things they can get very annoying and everything gets very restrictive. So it's the best that I could suggest to everybody. If you want to be in this industry, make short films, fan films, whatever the hell you want to do, you can do it. It's better to be independent because when you're independent, the struggle is a little bit more because trying to get into a studio is very very difficult, and once you get picked up by a studio, there's so many strings attached to your product license. Look at what happened to Dave Chappelle. I'll leave it at that. Look at what happened to Dave Chappelle. He couldn't even use his own name, because of Comedy Central that they wanted, and again, legal stuff, So it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough, but that's how this showbiz is. Jurassic World. Hope Jurassic World Rebirth gets its trilogy. Yeah, I think it is. They're going a different route, and I'm excited for that. Yeah, I agree. Diverman won't even do Pat. What is it? Batman's numbers. Yeah, yeah. It's just not. I hope we get a Man of Steel 2, Batman Cyborg, if the Snyderverse gets back. Oh, for sure. I know for sure they're gonna do that. They're not gonna let that go. They're gonna make that happen for sure. I have a feeling Jurassic World Rebirth will get its trilogy. Oh yeah, for sure. They're setting up the next trilogy, and it's gonna be with mutants. That's what I'm seeing. Because if we have two mutants in the new movie, I have a feeling that there's going to be something massive at the end that is going to be setting up for the next film. And I think that's the next route that they're gonna be doing for the next trilogy. For sure it's gonna be, So I'm excited for that. I hope we see Zack Snyder Teen Titans movie. That would be cool. That would be. I know that somebody had did the animation or something like that, and that was pretty dope what they did with that, like Zack Snyder style animated, but for what that was pretty dope. So who knows? All right, let's see. I will only support Snyder, Bay, and Ayers versions of these characters. Hell yeah, that's it. Like that's what I like, and I agree with you. A lot of us do. But again, it's a studio that they like to get in the way, and they've screwed things up. I would love to see a martial arts focused Snyderverse Batman movie. That would be cool. I think we kind of saw that with Michael Keaton with the first one, and that was nice for its time and stuff like that. So it is what it is. Redesigns mean soft reboots, so wallets close for those. Yeah, man. All right, cool. See, I learned something today. Then again, it's just so much to keep up with. So, with all these acronyms and stuff like that. So, yeah. Hell yeah. I just like how you just swept that one in there while it's closed. A lot of people are using that whole wallets closed, man. I've been seeing that not just with Superman, but a lot of different things. Sergeant, what's up? It's time to bring the fight to the shows. Let's get to work and on identifying them. Yeah, I truly agree with you, for sure, my friend. All right, cyborg movie done right could open doors for other things. Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. So many things that it could open and it could just lead to and stuff like that. So one day we'll see it, and it'll come soon. But yeah, so I'm about to get going. I appreciate y'all for watching, for tuning in, all that good stuff. As always, check out the videos. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.